Welcome to the Excel QA Studio. Excel can do more than calculations. First, we create a defect datasheet with defect ID, status, severity, and module. These details help analyze defects clearly. In this video, we'll build a real-time defect dashboard in Excel. Let's get started.
Using the COUNTA formula, we calculate the total number of defects automatically. Next, using the COUNTIF formula, we calculate how many defects are in each status. First, Excel counts the number of open defects. These are issues that are identified but not yet fixed. Then, using the same COUNTIF logic, we calculate in-progress defects, which are currently being worked on by the development team. Finally, COUNTIF helps us identify closed defects, showing which issues are already resolved and verified. This gives us a clear, real-time view of defect progress across the project. Now, we use the same COUNTIF formula to calculate defect severity. Excel automatically counts critical severity defects, followed by high, medium, and low severity issues. As soon as defect data changes, these numbers update instantly, making the dashboard fully automated. With just one formula, COUNTIF helps track both status and severity, saving time and improving reporting accuracy. Now, let's create a severity versus status summary table, which is one of the most important views in a real-time defect dashboard. First, we start with a pivot table. This pivot acts as a support option, where we summarize defects based on severity and status. In the pivot table, severity is placed in the rows, status is placed in the columns, and defect ID is used as the value field. This gives us a clear matrix showing how many defects fall under each severity and status combination. However, instead of directly showing the pivot table on the dashboard, we use it only as a backend data source. To fully automate the dashboard, we use index and match formulas in Excel. These formulas map the required values from the pivot table into a clean, formatted severity versus status summary table on the dashboard. The advantage of this approach is flexibility and control. We can design the dashboard layout independently without breaking the underlying calculations. Now, whenever there are changes in the defect datasheet, such as new defects, status updates, or severity changes, we simply refresh the pivot table. Once the pivot is refreshed, the index and match formulas automatically pull the updated values, and the defect dashboard updates instantly. This makes the entire dashboard dynamic, reliable, and suitable for real-time QA project reporting. Next, we add a severity versus status bar chart to make defect progress more visual. This chart clearly shows how many defects are open, in progress, and closed. Now, let's use a donut chart to visualize defect status progress. It clearly shows the proportion of open, in progress, and closed defects at a glance. Next, we use a donut chart to visualize defects by severity. This helps quickly identify critical, high, medium, and low severity issues at a glance. Finally, for live project usage, refer both this defect dashboard and the requirement traceability matrix from my earlier video. If you liked this video, please share it with your team and subscribe to Excel QA Studio.